I stood alone beside Jeremiah's polished casket, the only heartbeat in a chapel of empty benches. Callan and his wife had booked a cruise. Anaya chose a beach resort over the final salute to the father who once carried them on his back. But before I go on, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories reach. The young funeral director, tie too tight and shoes too shiny, kept stealing glances at the ghost rose. It was a moody October Monday in Atlanta, clouds flirting with rain but never committing. Jeremiah hated waffling. Mrs. Hampton, another minute. He whispered, wristwatch flashing. Let's start, I said, my voice steadier than my knees. Jeremiah hated waiting. The pastor, who'd never heard my husband laugh, recited canned lines about a decent man and golden yesterdays. I stared at the white lilies draped across the lid. Jeremiah would have wanted the backyard roses, deep red, trimmed every spring for 43 years. Front pew solo. 5 empty seats on either side roared louder than any prayer. No kids, no spouses, no Damani. Callan's text from the night before still glowed. Big summit in Miami, mom. Can't shift it. Call you next week. No apology, no scramble, just a bookmark for later. I pictured him in a glass tower, glancing at his Rolex, 1,000 miles from the thud of earth on wood. Anaya didn't text. Her assistant rang. She's indisposed. Indisposed. Like we were skipping pot roast. Not burying the daddy who let her steer his shoulders like a pirate ship. Service done. I followed the casket to the graveside. Wind slapped my cheeks, but the tears were spent weeks ago. I scooped cold dirt, let it fall. The hollow knock echoed the slap of my shoes in an empty house. Home? Our home? 5 decades of coffee stains and bedtime stories. Slippers by the recliner, remote in its exact dent. Silence thick enough to chew. I poured the good bourbon we saved for toasts. This wasn't a toast, but it fit. Phone in hand, I opened Instagram on reflex. Anaya's feed popped first, yacht deck. Champagne flutes catching sun, her smile blazing. Caption, living my best life. Posted 3 hours ago. While I lowered her father into Georgia clay, I scrolled. Callan's selfie grinned from a conference table, sleeves rolled, caption crowing, sealing empires. Not a whisper of grief. Just another Tuesday. Screen dark, bourbon sharp, I studied the wall, our 40th anniversary photo, hands linked, roses behind a screaming red. Now those bushes sagged, petals bruised. Tomorrow, I told the quiet. I'm calling Owens. Owens had handled our papers for 30 years. 2 years back, when fairness still felt simple. We'd split it clean, half to Callan, half to Anaya, a slice for Demony, house to sell or share, cabin for family weekends that never happened. That night I sat at the kitchen table. Jeremiah's Sunday pancake throne, where he flipped extras, just in case. They rarely came unless a wire transfer was due. I slid open the drawer of vital folders, fingertips skating envelopes until I touched last will and testament. The ink inside felt ancient, from a time when love and duty still shared a heartbeat. Bedroom pill bottles on guard. Doctor promised swift. We got 6 months of shrinking hope. Hospital corridors, beeping monitors, my husband's frame folding into itself. Callan visited twice, Anaya once, excuses polished like glass. The Tuesday he left, I held his hand. Eyes fluttered, faint grin. Eliza, you were my favorite chapter. Then blank, I called the kids. Callan swore weekend. Anaya swore next flight. Neither landed. Dawn. I dialed Owens. Shonda's voice softened. Mrs. Hampton, we're so sorry. 10 tomorrow. Tell him it can't wait. I barely slept. Not from doubt but from the electric hum of certainty. Like Jeremiah stood bedside, slow nod. Owen's office smelled of leather law and fresh coffee. He rose, eyes kind. Eliza, my heart hurts for you. Jeremiah was rare. He was? I said, sinking into the chair. Rewrite the will. Specifics. Cut Callan and Anaya out. Everything, house, cabin, accounts, to Damani. Glasses came off slow. Everything. Yes. Grief can. I buried him alone. I cut in, calm steel. Anaya toasted on a yacht. Callan couldn't move a meeting. Damani called daily. Mode when Jeremiah weakened drove me to ER at 2 a.m. He's 22 and already twice the adult. Owens exhaled. Ironclad trust. They'll contest. Let them. Lock it so their fingers never touch. Conditions. Full access at 30 except college or health. Friday signature. Walking out. October air tasted lighter. Not revenge. Justice. Legacy safe with the one heart that never skipped. Mother and daughter passed, giggling over a secret. I smiled. Small and true. Family isn't the frame, it's who steps inside. That night I folded Jeremiah's sweater, slid it into the drawer, slept in a bed that was finally, quietly mine. Thursday clouds low I signed, pen steady, ink drying like a period at the end of a long sentence. Owens gathered pages, discreet, but they'll learn. Let them hear it from me. Liberation, not joy, illusion gone. The illusion they were still the kids we raised. Home, I opened the closet of ghosts. Boxes labeled by year, receipts thick as novels. Kalen's folder MBA tuition, 70 cake seed for a business dead in 11 months, 110K down on the McMansion, imported car to flex. Jeremiah frowned each time, then wrote the check. He's our son. He'll learn. He never did. Aeneas stack. Wedding that could have bought a condo, penthouse gut Reno, Maldives. Stress cures. Private school, essential. Every wire came with a promise of visits, calls, closeness. Promises that evaporated with the transfer confirmation. Not the dollars, though they stung, but the pattern expectation without gratitude. Our lifetime savings treated like an ATM. I closed the folders, kept them as evidence for my own heart, not a courtroom. Phone rang 7:32 p.m. Demani. Grandma. Tomorrow. Found books Grandpa would love. And I just want to sit with you. I baked Jeremiah's favorite lasagna the next morning. Layers of cheese and sauce filling the house with the scent of Sunday dinners past. Demani rolled up right at noon, canvas tote slung over his shoulder, stuffed with secondhand books, and that same soft grin his grandpa wore when he was proud but too humble to say it. We carried plates to the backyard table under the oak, talking easy, his classes, the bookstore gig, grad school dreams. No frantic hustle in his voice, just steady fire. Grandpa always said real success is needing less, not owning more. He mused, scooping extra salad. I nodded, Jeremiah's exact line. He'd be proud of you, Demani. His eyes flicked up, boyish hope shining through. You think? I know. After we ate, he took over the sink without asking, sleeves rolled, humming while plates clinked. Between suds he mentioned a research fellowship in African, American Lit, price tag modest, barely a tenth of his dad's latest. Investment ask. Apply, I said. He froze, sponge dripping. Grandma, it's still money, and I know things are tight. Who do you think your grandpa? And I pinched pennies for all those years. I cut in gently. Moments exactly like this. For someone who gets it. He polished a dry plate until it gleamed quiet. When he left, leftovers tucked under his arm, I watched his dented sedan disappear down the street. The gap between him and his parents had never been wider. Anaya rang the next day. First words out of her mouth since skipping the funeral. Mom. Demani says you're funding his fellowship. No hello, no how are you? Straight to the ledger. Good morning to you too, darling. A huff. I'm worried. You just lost Dad. Big money moves right now. I've made several big moves lately, I said, calm as the garden soil under my nails. What kind? Alarm sharpened her tone. Not for my heart, but for her cut. Come over. We'll talk face to face. Work's insane, Mom. You know how it goes. Oh, I know exactly. Same reason you were on a yacht popping champagne while I lowered your father into the ground. Dead air. How'd you? Instagram, sweetheart. You posted mid-service. A scramble of excuses then, come see me if you mean it. Otherwise, stay busy. I hung up, hands trembling, not rage, relief. 50 years of biting my tongue done. Callan showed up unannounced the following afternoon, flashy import purring into the drive like it owned the block. Brief hug. Eyes scanning the living room like an appraiser. You okay? You look tired. I'm fine. What brings you? Anaya filled me in. We're worried. Are you? I sat opposite the sofa Jeremiah loved. Losing Dad must have been rough. He flushed. About the funeral. I couldn't move that meeting. It was make or break. The same business we seeded with 70 grand that folded in 11 months. He blinked. I never threw numbers. That was ages ago. So was the 120 for your house down payment, 45 to wipe your first divorce debts. Why drag this up now? Because your father's dead, Callan, and I'm taking stock of money, of choices. He squirmed. Meaning? I rewrote the will. You and Anaya are out. Everything to Damani. His face went scarlet. Out. Mom, that's Doan. House, cabin, accounts, Damani. He's a kid. 22. Graduated. More honor in his pinky than you two combined in 30 years. He shot up. This is the grief talking. Clearest I've thought in decades. Your father built this with sweat and decency. Values you forgot. It's the funeral, right? I said sorry. The funeral was the period at the end of a very long sentence. Taking, never thanking, treating us like ATMs. He paced, then tried honey. Let's be reasonable. Some middle ground. No deal. Decision's final. You'll regret this. We'll contest. Prove my point. Door slam. Through the window I watched him speed dial Anaya. Frantic gestures. That night I cracked the good bourbon, carried it to the yard. Roses drooped, autumn closing in. But a few defiant blooms clung. Jeremiah's voice drifted up. Loves like these roses. Eliza. Constant tending, hard pruning. Sometimes winter to bloom again. Winter had come. I was ready. 3 days of radio silence. Then text from Demand it need anything from the store. Calm before the next wave. Thursday. Anaya and Malik roared up in the gleaming BMW. She marched in, designer bag thudding on the entry table. We need to talk. Malik hovered, phone glowing. Morning to you too. I kept watering the porch plants. Is it true? You cut us out for Damani. I set the can down, faced her. Same eyes as mine, but narrowed with suspicion. Consequence, not insanity. Of skipping one funeral. Of 6 months sick. You visited once, 2 hours, fake emergency. 0 calls. Then yacht champagne. I grieved differently. Ignored, you mean. Malik finally looked up. Mrs. Hampton. Grief makes people. Save it. You two only grieved when the bank stopped answering. Anaya's chin quivered. Shocked that I'd said it aloud. Or family. Family shows up. Not just for gifts. She grabbed her bag. This isn't over. Callan's lawyering up. I closed the door soft. Same steady click I'd used since the grave. Phone rang 4 times. Neighbor Charles. Saw Anaya storm out. You okay? Settling accounts. Dinner tonight. Lillian's gumbo. I hesitated. Crowd since the funeral felt heavy. But old friends who'd known Jeremiah's laugh. I'd love that. Over steaming bowls I spilled it all. Empty pews. Instagram betrayal, the new will, the blow-ups. Lillian squeezed my hand. You did right. Jeremiah gets it. They're my kids. I whispered, tears finally loosening. How'd we land here? Charles refilled tea. You gave everything. Their paths on them. Next morning, mail heavy envelope, Kalen's handwriting. First letter ever, not an email. Mom, you might be right about some things. I wasn't the son I should have been. Work swallowed me. I sidelined you both. No excuse for the funeral. I'll carry that forever. The will hurts, but Damani's solid. Maybe a split that honors your anger without erasing your kids completely. Family despite everything. Love, Callan. Almost sincere. Until the split. Negotiation. Not remorse. I left it unanswered. Paper doesn't erase decades. Damani arrived that afternoon with a toolbox. Back porch rails wobbly. He worked like Jeremiah. Measure twice, frown of focus. When the last screw tightened, we sat on the fresh boards. I told him about the will. Silence stretched. He stared at calloused hands. Grandma, I didn't earn. You showed up without a price tag. That's why. Mom and Uncle Callan will hate me. They already do. He shook his head. I don't want to split us more. I took those rough hands. Your grandpa built honest. You're the honest continuation. Moist eyes. I won't let you down. Dusk painted the sky peach. I rocked in Jeremiah's hand-built chair. Right call. I asked the stars. Silence felt like a nod. Owens called midweek. Callan inquired if the will's filed. Confirmed. He's sniffing contests. Let him sniff. It's ironclad. I wrote my own letter that night. Not a will, but testimony. If you're reading this, I'm gone. This wasn't spite. It was clarity, hours of love, loss, acceptance. Sealed, labeled after my passing, tucked beside Jeremiah's papers. Callan appeared next morning in jeans, no suit, looking almost breakable. Can we talk? I let him in. He noticed new curtains, 2 years old. Sat like a guest. I got your silence on the letter. I get the anger. We weren't who we should have been. No, you weren't. He flinched at the bluntness he expected me to soften. Compromise 50 Demani, 25 each us. Boardroom math. Not a merger, Callan. A verdict on who grasps what your father built. We're your blood. Blood you cashed in MBA, mansions, cars, bailouts. You've had your inheritance in installments. Mouth open, shut. Something flickered. Recognition. I really blew it. Silence answered. He left quieter. Spring tiptoed in, roses pushed green. 6 months post, Will Callan phoned weekly. How's the garden, not the money. Awkward, real. Anaya texted weather updates, sidestep substance. Demani became Sunday fixture. Rare plants, handmade bookmarks, mugs with Jeremiah's favorite poets. One lunch he spread blueprints cabin into neighborhood library, house someday senior center. Vacant house is wasted possibility, he quoted. Jeremiah's line, cost sober but doable. Start now, I said. I want to see it breathing. Bank next week. Joint account, seed money transferred. Manager smiled. Jeremiah's using money as a tool. Word spread fast. Callan called that night. Heard about the account. Library, Paused, then, need permits. I've got contacts. Anaya showed morning after. No Malik, no SUV compact rental. Simpler hair, faint makeup. Heard about the library. Dad dreamed that. Shadow of regret. Getting divorced. Built a life on mirrors. You were right. We drove to the cemetery. She knelt, palm on stone, shoulders shaking. Late, but maybe not lost. Sunday, first family table in years. Tense at first, Callan asking real questions, Anaya pitching fundraising. Demani cautious, then laughing at Callan's corny joke. Not healed, but sprouting. Renovation kicked off April sunshine. Callan in old clothes, permits approved overnight. Anaya with coffee, website Lev, 500 book pledges. Demani directed with quiet authority. One afternoon, Anaya alone among children's books. Enjoying this more than my corner office. Your dad said service beats salary. She arranged a picture book. About the will, I get it. Demani earned it. I'm not angling to flip you. I believed her. Callan sold the import, funded scholarships in Jeremiah's name. Didn't need the flex. Demani cornered me in the garden. 6 months ago they ghosted, now daily. Real. Trust, but watch. Time tells. June opening. Sunlight poured through new windows, shelves circled like hugs.